smoke. The kind that emanates from the exhaust of a power generating set. Generators, as they're popularly called, contain high levels of carbon monoxide, a poisonous gas you cannot see or smell. Lagos, Nigeria is one of the fastest growing cities in the world. Lagos is currently experiencing a population increase of about 275,000 persons per annum. In 1999, United Nations predicted that the city's metropolitan area, which had only about 290,000 in 1950, would exceed 20 million by 2010. And thus become one of the 10 most populated cities in the world. The poor power supply in Lagos and other parts of Nigeria is primarily responsible for the inevitable use of generators. The adverse effect of this is global warming, brought about by the severe emission of carbon monoxide. The Nigerian government recently privatized the power holding company of Nigeria, handing the generation and distribution of power to new energy companies and investors. An overall improvement is yet to be seen. This, however, has not stopped the import and widespread sale of power generating sets in the country. On so many occasions in Lagos, there have been reported deaths caused by inhalation of smoke from generators. The frequency of these reports are becoming alarming. The larger issue here is the environment. Carbon monoxide affects the environment in several ways. First, it elevates the amount of methane in the atmosphere and then oxidizes it into carbon dioxide. This eventually leads to global warming. In addition, large amounts of carbon monoxide can be life-threatening. This smoke has to stop now. One man has taken it upon himself to stop it. This is his story.
Problems, the epileptic power supplies we have, I ventured into renewable energy, which my quest for it made me study renewable energy in a college abroad. There I learned how to go about installing wind turbines, solar systems, solar thermal, and also heating of pools. Well, apart from the benefits I derive from installing systems, both commercially and industrially, I love the essence of renewable energy in the sense that it's eco-friendly. Eco-friendly in the sense that it's there's no pollution as to how generators spread the carbon monoxide all over the air in Nigeria. There are virtually no compound you will go to in Nigeria today you would not see a generating set. Not talk about the noise which that's associated with the generator. And also the robbery has also gone on the increase because most neighborhoods with the generating set at night are so noisy that you can't even hear when somebody is entering your neighbor's flat. So with all this at the negative sides of the generating set, I took delight in studying green energy, especially with the wind and the solar system. If you come to see now in Nigeria, people are embracing solar energy. Why? Because it's not as expensive as they felt it used to be. It's safer, it's long lasting, and it's also green. This has been here. I installed this in 2011. I think about September 2011, and so far it's been very, very effective. The only disadvantage is that the wind speed here is not as consistent as is required. So sometimes it doesn't produce as much energy as I would love it to do. But all the same, it's been very, very useful. If you have a solar system or a wind system, or better still a hybrid is what you call when you have the wind and the solar system working unanimously at the same time. It saves you a lot of stress going to queue for fuel in the filling stations. It saves you a lot of stress repairing your genset. It saves you a lot of stress of switching on and off your genset. It saves you a lot of costs maintaining your generator, and it also saves you money in the bank when you're going to replace the gensets, because the solar system has a lifespan of between 50 to 20 years. These are what we call the battery banks. They store the energy produced. When they are stored, then whenever we need electricity, the battery bank is what we use for storage. After the battery bank, we move into the inverter. This is a 3 kVA inverter. That's about 2,700 watts. This inverter, what it does is it inverts the DC to AC, which we need in the house to run our television sets, our radios, our fans, our refrigerator. That's what it does. Then, apart from the inverter, we have what we call the charge controller. What the charge controller basically does, it regulates the current from the solar modules up on the roof into the batteries. When the batteries are filled to the charging peak, about 26 volts, it helps to cut off the excess current coming in, whereby it starts to float so that it doesn't destroy the battery. That's basically what the charge controller does. And this charge controller helps us to know the temperature, the amperage coming in from the modules, the load, and the amp hour. So you could basically see what the currents that are coming in from the panel, the amperage and the voltage, and your rate of consumption. So that's what this does. So this is the cable that runs from the modules up on the roof. I've been running on my solar system, and my wind turbine has been working for me. So I'm not really bothered if there are no NEPA supply, electricity supply in the vicinity or not. So that is why I encourage all to practice green energy for safety, for the earth, and for mankind.
Given the inventive solar energy alternative, it still remains to be seen if the change we seek will indeed come. For us in Lagos, Nigeria, the time to act is now. It may take some time, but if we are to secure a green future for our children, we must stop the smoke now and embrace alternative sources of energy.